You know that quiet moment when the noise of the day finally fades away, when the world outside slows down, and you can almost hear your own breath again. Maybe you're lying there, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of everything that happened today. What went right? What didn't? What still feels unfinished? We've all been there. But tonight, I want you to pause just for a moment, because this small space between the end of the day and the beginning of the night, it's sacred. It's a doorway back to yourself. And before we go deeper, if this kind of gentle reflection speaks to you, if you like a little more peace in your evenings, go ahead and subscribe. This space is for people like you, people who are learning, breathing, and growing quietly. Now, let's talk about one simple thing you can whisper to yourself tonight. Today is complete. Just those 3 words. Simple, right? But behind them is something powerful. Our minds don't like endings. Even when the day is over, we replay conversations, mistakes, little moments we wish had gone differently. Maybe someone's words still echo in your head, or you're thinking about that thing you didn't finish. But here's the truth. Once the sun sets, the day is no longer yours to fix. It's done. It's lived. It's part of you now. Buddhist wisdom has this beautiful idea that every evening is like a small death. It's not sad. It's just the end of a chapter that won't come again. The monks understand this so deeply that when they strike the gong at the end of evening meditation, that single sound means it's finished. They don't go back to it. They let it rest. Maybe we could learn to do that too, to let our own gongs ring softly in the heart and call it complete. When you say, today is complete, you're not pretending the day was perfect. You're simply accepting that it's over. You don't need to fix every word you said or redo every choice. You don't need to stay awake trying to rewrite what's already written. What's done is done, and maybe that's okay. Because each day teaches something, even if it didn't feel beautiful while it was happening. Every experience, even the rough ones, are quiet teachers. I once knew a man who worked long hours and always carried his day home with him. His mind never stopped spinning. Meetings, emails, things unsaid. One night he told me, it's like my brain doesn't know when to stop working. So I asked him to try something simple. Every night before bed, he'd say out loud, today is complete. At first, it felt strange, almost forced. But after a week, he said, when I say that, I actually feel it. Like I've drawn a line between me and the day. He slept deeper. He smiled more in the mornings. Sometimes peace starts with a whisper. Maybe tonight you can try that too. Imagine placing all the pieces of your day, the laughter, the worry, the effort, the small wins, the regrets, inside a little box in your mind. See yourself gently closing it, not locking it, just closing it, knowing you can always open tomorrow if you really need to. But for now, it doesn't belong in your bed, in your dreams, or in your heart tonight. Whisper softly, today is complete. Feel those words settle in your chest. Let the shoulders drop a little. Let the thoughts slow down. Maybe you didn't do everything you planned. Maybe you said the wrong thing. Maybe today wasn't your best day, but you showed up, you tried, and that's enough. We spend so much of our lives running toward tomorrow that we forget to honor the ending of today. But when you say, today is complete, you're not giving up, you're setting yourself free. You're giving your heart permission to rest, to breathe, to heal, to start again when morning comes. So as the night wraps around you, close your eyes and imagine the day bowing to you, saying thank you for walking through it. Thank you for being there. Thank you for learning. And maybe you can whisper back, thank you too. You're complete now. Then let it all go. Let sleep take over. Let silence hold you. Because right here, right now, there's nothing more you need to do, nothing more you need to be. The day is done, my friend, and that's perfectly okay. You know, sometimes a heart needs a gentle reminder that even in the middle of chaos, something good still found its way to us. Gratitude isn't about pretending that everything was wonderful. It's about noticing that somewhere between the noise and the stillness, a few small things quietly went right. So tonight, as the day fades into memory, I want you to whisper something soft and simple. I am grateful for the gift of today. And before we sink into that feeling, if this kind of quiet reflection feels like home to you, if you enjoy these calm late-night talks that help your heart rest, subscribe. That way, you and I can keep meeting here in this little pocket of peace where words don't try to fix you but simply sit beside you. Now, let's breathe together for a moment. Maybe today didn't sparkle. Maybe it was heavy, full of misunderstandings, or just ordinary and gray. But even on those days, something quietly helped you through. A person's kindness, a cup of warm coffee, the way the light touched the floor in the morning. Gratitude doesn't need fireworks. It just needs awareness. You see, our minds are wired to notice what went wrong, to protect us, to help us survive. But our hearts, they're built to notice what's good, to help us live. Gratitude is that bridge between surviving and living. When you say, I am grateful for the gift of today, you're telling your mind, it's okay to rest now. There was goodness here, too. Maybe today someone smiled at you when you needed it most. Maybe a stranger held the door. Maybe you found the courage to say something you've been afraid to say. Maybe the rain fell softly, and for a moment, it felt like the world was washing itself clean. Those are all gifts, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet kind that keeps you going without you even realizing it. There's an old Buddhist saying that gratitude is like water. It flows naturally when you stop blocking it. The more you let it move through you, the more it nourishes your soul. You don't have to force it or make a list of blessings every night. You just have to notice. Notice the way your body carried you through another day. Notice that your heart still beats, still feels, still hopes. Notice that you made it here, right now, listening, breathing, existing. That's enough to be grateful for. I remember a woman who once told me she felt she had nothing to be thankful for. Her life was full of noise and stress, and she said gratitude felt fake, like pretending. So I asked her to do one small thing before bed. Not to list blessings, not to force joy, just to find one thing, one small moment that didn't hurt. A sound, a taste, a breath. She thought it was silly, but she tried. A week later, she said, I started noticing little things I used to ignore, the smell of my tea, the way my cat sits beside me, the sound of rain on the window, and for a few seconds each night, I feel calm. That's the quiet power of gratitude. It softens life from the inside out. So maybe tonight, as you lie there, think back over your day, not to judge it, not to replay it, but to gently pick out the small treasures hidden inside it, the laugh you shared, the meal you enjoyed, the effort you made even when no one saw. And if you can't find anything, that's okay too. Maybe the gift today is simply that you're still here, breathing, trying again. That's enough. When you whisper, I am grateful for the gifts of today, let the words feel warm in your mouth. Let them melt a little bit of the day's hardness. Gratitude doesn't erase pain. It simply gives it context. It reminds you that even in the middle of the struggle, something tender was still holding you up. And maybe that's what you need tonight. Not perfection, not answers. Just a small moment of thankfulness that whispers, I made it. So take one deep breath. Let your shoulders soften. Feel the day settle inside you like a quiet story. And before you drift into sleep, tell yourself one last time, I am grateful for the gifts of today. Tomorrow will bring what it brings. But for now, the only thing that matters is this soft gratitude blooming inside you, simple, gentle, real. Because maybe that's a secret. Peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from noticing that what you already have, right here, is enough. You know those nights when your mind just won't stop replaying something you said or something someone else did. The moment keeps looping, like a song you can't turn off. Maybe you wish you'd handled it differently. Maybe you wish they had. And as you lie there, the weight of that memory presses on your chest, quietly asking for something you can't seem to give. Peace. That's where forgiveness begins. Not as a grand gesture, but as a soft, trembling whisper to yourself. I forgive myself and others. If these quiet reflections feel like they bring you a little light, a little warmth before sleep, I'd love for you to subscribe. This small space is made for nights like this, when your soul needs a soft place to land. Forgiveness isn't easy. It never is. It's not about pretending the hurt didn't happen or pretending everything's fine. It's not even about the other person, really. Forgiveness is about setting down a stone you've been carrying too long. You know that heaviness in your heart, that tightness in your chest when you think about what went wrong? That's what you release when you forgive. You let yourself breathe again. Maybe tonight, forgiveness isn't about someone else at all. Maybe it's about you, the things you regret, the words you wish you could take back, the mistakes that keep visiting your thoughts when the world gets quiet. Sometimes we're kinder to strangers than we are to ourselves. But if you think about it, you've been doing the best you can with what you knew at the time. We all are. You didn't mean to hurt anyone. You didn't know how things would turn out. You were just trying to find your way through the dark, the same way everyone else is. So when you say, I forgive myself, you're not saying you were right. You're saying you're ready to stop punishing yourself for being human. You're saying, it's okay. I understand now. And that's a beautiful thing, to understand yourself with softness instead of judgment. Now, when it comes to forgiving others, that's a little harder, isn't it? Because sometimes they never say sorry. Sometimes they don't change. Sometimes they don't even understand what they did. But forgiveness isn't about waiting for them to deserve it. It's about freeing yourself from the pain that's been holding you hostage. Carrying anger only burns you from the inside. Letting go doesn't mean what happened was okay. It just means you're tired of letting it steal your peace. I once heard a monk say, forgiveness is the act of releasing someone from the prison of your mind, and then realizing you were the one locked inside. That always stayed with me, because when you forgive, the person who walks out of that cage is you. Maybe tonight you can picture that. Imagine yourself standing in a quiet space. No noise, no judgment, just stillness. Picture the faces of those who have hurt you, and also your own. See them standing across from you. You don't need to say much. Just breathe and whisper, I forgive you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. And then, I forgive myself. Let that part echo a little longer. You might feel resistance at first. That's okay. Forgiveness isn't instant. It's like untying a knot one thread at a time. Some nights you'll loosen it. Some nights you'll tighten it again without meaning to. But the point is, you're trying. You're showing up for your healing. And that's what matters. So, tonight, let's soften the heart a little. You don't have to fix the past. You don't have to erase the pain. Just sit with it. Let the air touch it gently. Whisper your forgiveness into the dark like a small prayer. I forgive myself and others. You'll feel lighter, maybe not all at once, but slowly, like the first breath after a storm. And when morning comes, you'll wake up with a little more space in your chest, a little more calm in your step, because forgiveness is freedom. And freedom always starts within. So close your eyes now. Take one last deep breath. Let everything soften, the memories, the regrets, the faces, the stories. Let them float away like leaves in a quiet stream. And as they drift off, whisper to yourself, I forgive, I release, I'm free. You deserve that, my friend. You really do. There comes a point in every day when you realize, no matter how much you planned, how much you tried, how much you cared, some things just didn't go your way. Maybe it was someone's words that cut deeper than you expected. Maybe it was a situation that slipped right out of your hands, no matter how tightly you held on. And now, lying here in the quiet, your mind keeps replaying it, trying to fix something that's already gone. But tonight, I want you to whisper to yourself, I let go of what I can't control. If moments like this bring you a little peace, a little breathing space for your heart, I'd love for you to subscribe. This small corner of the world is made for people like you, people learning to let go gently one night at a time. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up. It simply means you're no longer fighting battles that were never meant to be yours. The truth is, control is something we all cling to because it makes us feel safe. We plan our days, our futures, even our conversations, hoping that if we just do everything right, life will unfold the way we want. But life doesn't always listen, does it? Sometimes it has its own rhythm, its own mysterious path that doesn't fit into our maps. There's a saying in Buddhist wisdom that trying to control the world is like trying to smooth the surface of a river with your hand. No matter how much you try, the water keeps moving. The harder you push, the more it resists. But if you just let your hand rest gently on the surface, suddenly the water feels calm. Maybe that's what letting go is. It's resting your hand on the flow of life, instead of trying to change its direction. Maybe tonight, there's something you're holding on to, a conversation you wish had gone differently, a person who doesn't seem to understand, a dream that keeps slipping away. And maybe, deep down, you know it's time to loosen your grip. You don't have to throw it all away. Just ease your fingers open a little. Just breathe. You'll notice something beautiful happens when you stop forcing. Life starts moving again. I remember once talking to an older man who had spent years trying to fix everything around him, his family, his work, even the weather. He joked. But when he got older, he told me, peace came when I realized I don't need to manage the wind. I just need to learn how to sail. That stuck with me, because life isn't about control. It's about direction. You can't control the wind, but you can choose how you move with it. So maybe tonight you can whisper softly, I release the need to control. Let those words settle in. Feel how they loosen something inside you. Because when you let go, what you're really saying is, I trust. I trust that whatever's meant for me will stay. I trust that whatever's leaving has already taught me what it was meant to teach. I trust that life doesn't need my constant grip to move in the right direction. Letting go doesn't always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it feels like loss or fear or uncertainty. But in time, that empty space turns into calm. It turns into freedom. It turns into a quiet knowing that you were never really in control, just beautifully part of something bigger. So as you lie here, take a slow breath. Imagine all the things you can't control, the people, the outcomes, the plans, floating above you like clouds. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to hold them. Just watch them drift away, gently, silently, out into the wide open sky. And maybe whisper one last time, I let go of what I can't control. Let that be your permission tonight, to rest, to breathe, to stop fighting the current. Because maybe when we finally stop trying to steer every moment, we discover something softer waiting underneath. Life itself, unfolding just as it should. And that's enough. It's more than enough. There's a moment, usually late at night, when the world finally gets quiet enough for you to hear that small voice inside, the one that's been waiting all day to speak. It's the voice that says, you did your best. But we don't always listen, do we? We're so quick to point out what we could have done better, what we didn't finish, where we fell short. We forget to pause and simply say, I'm proud of myself, before we keep going. If these quiet talks bring you a little comfort, if they help you breathe a bit easier than the day, I'd love for you to subscribe. This space is our little circle of calm, a place to rest, to feel, and to remember your own worth. Now, I know it can feel strange to say, I'm proud of myself. Maybe it even feels wrong, like you're bragging or exaggerating. But it isn't. It's healing. It's you finally giving yourself the kindness you've been waiting for from everyone else. Because pride doesn't have to be loud. It can be a soft, steady recognition that you've been walking through your own storms and still found your way here. Think about it, everything you've survived. The days you thought you couldn't get through, but did anyway. The mornings you woke up tired, but showed up. The moments you kept your patience when you wanted to give up. You may not notice it, but that's strength. Quiet, ordinary, everyday strength. The world often teaches us to measure ourselves by outcomes, what we achieved, what we earned, what others think. But real pride isn't built on applause. It's built on showing up for yourself when no one's watching. It's in those small decisions you make to keep going, to stay kind, to choose peace even when it's hard. I remember a woman who once told me she felt invisible, like nothing she did really mattered. She worked hard, cared for everyone, but never gave herself credit. One evening, I asked her, what's one small thing you did today that you're proud of? She thought for a moment and said, I didn't lose my temper when I wanted to. And then she smiled, a small, honest smile that came from deep inside. Because pride isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about those little victories that no one else sees but you. Maybe tonight, that's what you can do. Think of one thing, just one, that makes you quietly proud. Maybe you were patient with someone who was difficult. Maybe you took a step toward healing. Maybe you rested when your body asked for it. Or maybe you simply made it through another day that felt heavy. That's something to honor. When you whisper, I'm proud of myself, you're reminding your heart that it matters. You're saying, I see you. I see what you've carried. And that recognition, it heals something old, something tired inside you. We spend so much of our lives chasing approval from others, waiting for someone to say we're doing okay. But you don't need to wait anymore. You could be the one who says it now. You can be your own encourager, your own gentle witness. So maybe tonight, before you close your eyes, place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, that quiet proof that you're still here, still trying, still loving. Whisper to yourself, I'm proud of you. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you're talking to someone who's been through a lot and still has the courage to keep showing up. And if it feels strange or awkward, that's okay. Keep saying it anyway. With time, those words start to settle in, like sunlight finally reaching a place that's been dark for too long. Because you deserve to feel proud, not for being perfect, but for being real, for being resilient, for being you. So let the day fall away now. You've done enough. You are enough. And maybe, just maybe, that quiet pride growing in your heart is the most honest kind of peace you'll ever know. There's a quiet moment each night when your thoughts start to circle. Slow at first, then faster, like little waves that just won't rest. You lie there replaying things that might happen tomorrow, the what-ifs, the maybes, the tiny fears that grow bigger in the dark. And before you know it, your body's tired, but your mind is wide awake. If that's you tonight, just take a breath with me and whisper, I choose peace over worry. If these soft late-night talks bring calm to your heart, if they help you find stillness in your busy mind, I'd love for you to subscribe. This space is for nights exactly like this, when all you need is a voice to remind you it's okay to let go. You see, worry is a habit of love. We worry because we care about our families, our future, our place in the world. But there's a fine line between caring and carrying too much. Worry tricks us into believing that if we think about something long enough, maybe we can control it. But we can't. We end up exhausting our hearts, chasing shadows of things that haven't even happened. Peace, on the other hand, doesn't come from fixing everything. It comes from trusting that everything doesn't need to be fixed tonight. Peace is a choice, a quiet, steady choice you make in the middle of the storm to stop fighting the wind. I remember an old monk once said, if your problem could be solved, why worry? If it can't, what good will worry do? At first, I thought it sounded too simple. But over time, I realized he wasn't telling us not to care. He was inviting us to trust life's rhythm a little more. Because sometimes the only thing standing between us and peace is a belief that we have to control what comes next. Maybe tonight, there are things weighing on your mind, a bill unpaid, a conversation you're dreading, a future that feels uncertain. I get it, but right now, as the night wraps around you, those things can wait. The world won't fall apart while you rest. You can pick them up again in the morning with a clearer mind, a steadier heart. For now, your only job is to choose peace. Try this with me. Close your eyes and picture your worries as small stones in your hands. Feel their weight. Then, one by one, imagine setting them down beside you. You don't have to throw them away. Just place them gently on the ground and whisper, I'll come back to you tomorrow, but tonight, I choose peace. Feel how light your hands become. Feel how your breath slows down. Worry feeds on attention. Peace grows in silence. The less you feed the thoughts that scare you, the softer they become. And with time, they lose their grip. You begin to see that most of what you feared never even came true. And the few things that did, you handled them. You always do. There's something deeply healing about realizing that you don't have to hold it all together tonight. The world will keep spinning. Life will unfold in its own way. And when morning comes, you'll meet it with fresh eyes, lighter and clearer. So maybe as you drift towards sleep, you can say it again, I choose peace over worry. Say it softly, like a lullaby to your own heart. Let those words wrap around you like a blanket. Because peace isn't something that happens to you. It's something you allow. It's already there, underneath the noise, waiting for you to remember it. Let the night hold your worries now. Let it take care of what you can't. And trust, just for this moment, that everything is okay. Because maybe peace doesn't mean the storm is gone. It just means you've stopped letting it live inside you. And that's enough for tonight. You know those nights when you lie awake wondering why things haven't happened yet? Maybe it's that dream you've been chasing, that love you've been waiting for, or that peace you thought you'd have by now. We've all been there, caught in that quiet ache between wanting something so deeply and not knowing when it'll come. Tonight, let's sit in that space together and whisper softly, I trust the timing of my life. If this message feels like a gentle hand on your shoulder, if it brings you a little comfort in the waiting, I'd love for you to subscribe. This space is here to remind you that you're not alone in the pauses, the uncertainty, the slow seasons. We all walk this road together. Trusting the timing of your life isn't easy, especially when you worked hard and still can't see the results, or when you love with all your heart and it still didn't last. Our minds crave answers, closure, control. We want to know why things happen, when they'll happen, how they'll unfold. But life doesn't move on our schedule. It has its own rhythm, like the tide that knows when to rise and when to fall, without ever being rushed. I once heard a story about a gardener who planted a tree that didn't bloom for years. Every season, he cared for it, watered it, pruned it, protected it from the wind. People told him it was useless, that it would never grow, but he smiled and said, the roots are growing even when I can't see them. And one spring morning, without warning, the tree burst into flowers more beautiful than anyone had imagined. That's how life often works. Sometimes it's silent, sometimes it's slow, but even in the quiet, things are growing beneath the surface. Your strength, your patience, your faith. Maybe the waiting isn't punishment. Maybe it's preparation. It's easy to compare ourselves to others, to think we're behind, to feel like our story is moving too slowly. But everyone's clock ticks differently. Someone else's sunrise doesn't mean your night has failed. Maybe the reason your path takes longer is because your story is meant to be deeper, steadier, and more rooted. When I look back, the things that once broke my heart for not happening sooner were the very things that came at the perfect time later. I didn't see it then, but the delays protected me. The pauses shaped me. The detours taught me what rushing never could. And maybe that's true for you, too. So, tonight, instead of fighting the pace of your life, breathe with it. Trust that what's meant for you isn't running away. It's making its way toward you in its own time. The friendships, the love, the peace, the opportunities, they're not lost. They're just aligning with the person you're becoming. Whisper to yourself, I trust the timing of my life. Feel how those words calm the restless part of your heart. You don't need to know when things will happen to know that they will. Life has its own wisdom. It's been unfolding for billions of years. Surely it knows what it's doing with you. Maybe tonight, that's all you need to believe, that you are exactly where you need to be right now. Not late, not behind, just here, growing roots, quietly preparing for your own blooming season. So rest easy. The gardener of your life hasn't forgotten you, and when the time is right, you'll see why you had to wait. And when that day comes, you'll smile and whisper, now I understand. There's a moment at the end of the night when the world grows still and everything begins to slow down. You can hear your own breath again. Feel the weight of the day fading off your shoulders. That's when the heart opens most easily, when the noise quiets and all that's left is the simple truth that we all want the same thing. To be safe, to be peaceful, to be free. Tonight, as the stars settle above you, whisper softly, may all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. If you find peace in these gentle reflections, if they remind you that kindness still lives in this noisy world, I'd love for you to subscribe. This space is built for quiet souls, people who believe in calm more than chaos, in love more than fear. You belong here. This small sentence, may all beings be safe, peaceful, and free, might sound simple, but it carries a whole heart of compassion inside it. It's not a wish only for others. It's a bridge that connects you to the whole world. When you say it, something inside you softens. The boundaries between me and them start to fade. You begin to realize that even those who hurt you, even those you don't understand, are just trying to find their way home too. I remember once sitting with an old Buddhist teacher who told me, when you hold anger, you close your heart to the world. But when you hold compassion, the world fits easily inside you. At the time, I didn't fully understand. But one night, after a long and painful day, I sat quietly and repeated those words. May all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. Over and over, like a prayer I didn't know I needed. And slowly, the tension in my chest began to ease. It was as if every repetition was polishing something inside me that had gone dull. We often think peace means silence, but real peace is a heartbeat. It's warm, alive, breathing in rhythm with every living thing. When you whisper this wish before sleep, you're not just speaking to others. You're reminding your own soul that love is still possible. Maybe tonight, start small. Say, may I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free. It's not selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup. Let that love fill you first. Then gently expand it outward. Think of someone you love deeply, someone whose happiness matters to you. Picture them smiling, their worries lighter, their heart calm. Whisper, may you be safe, may you be peaceful, may you be free. Now take another step. Think of someone who's hurt you, someone whose name still feels heavy in your chest. Maybe you're not ready to forgive completely, and that's okay. Just imagine them as a human being, like you, someone who's also struggled, someone who's also been afraid. Say softly, may you be safe, may you be peaceful, may you be free. You're not excusing what they did. You're freeing yourself from the bitterness that keeps you tied to them. And finally, extend your wish beyond what you can see. Let it reach strangers you'll never meet, children you'll never know, even animals resting quietly in the dark. Picture the earth itself wrapped in a soft light, glowing gently under the night sky. Whisper again, may all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. This is how the heart grows vast enough to hold the world. This is how you fall asleep not just with a quiet mind, but with a kind one. Because love doesn't have to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It only needs to be felt genuine, steady, and without borders. And the beautiful thing? Science agrees with what the Buddha taught long ago. People who practice loving kindness regularly sleep better, stress less, and feel more connected to life. But beyond studies or teachings, what really matters is how it feels when you do it. The warmth spreading through your chest, the small smile you didn't plan, the way your breath deepens. So tonight, let your final thought before sleep be this simple wish. Let it travel through your dreams, through your heartbeat, through the stillness of the night. May all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. And as you drift off, remember you're part of that all. You, too, are worthy of safety. You, too, deserve peace. You, too, are meant to be free. Sleep well, dear soul. The world is softer when your heart is open. There's something magical about waking up early, before the rest of the world opens its eyes. The air feels softer, like it hasn't yet been touched by the noise of the day. You can hear the faint hum of life returning. Birds, wind, the slow warmth of sunlight pushing through the dark. It's in these moments that you realize peace was never lost. It was only waiting for you to slow down enough to feel it again. Last night, you wished for safety, peace, and freedom for yourself and for every being that breathes. This morning, that wish still lingers, gently shaping the way you move, the way you speak, the way you see others. The world didn't change overnight, but you did just a little. You woke up softer. And that softness, that quiet strength, is what changes everything. You don't have to be perfect to carry peace inside you. You don't have to have all the answers or fix every broken thing. You only have to keep your heart open enough to try, to listen when the world is loud, to pause when you want to rush, to forgive when it's easy to close off. Maybe you'll stumble, maybe you'll forget, but that's okay. Peace is a finish line. It's a way of walking. I know life can feel heavy sometimes. There are days when even breathing feels like work, when you look in the mirror and wonder where your light went. But it's still there, hiding quietly beneath the noise and the worry. You don't need to search far. You just need to come home to yourself. And maybe that starts with one simple breath. In and out, no rush, no plan. Just this moment, just you being here. If these words bring a little calm into your heart, if they remind you that you're not alone in trying to live a softer, kinder life, I'd love for you to subscribe. Not for numbers, not for fame, but because this little space was built for people like you. People who still believe in gentleness, in hope, in the quiet power of a peaceful mind. You see, the real journey of life isn't about how much you achieve, but how deeply you live. It's about learning to see beauty in ordinary moments. The sound of rain, the smell of coffee, the smile of a stranger, the feeling of sunlight on your skin. Those moments are sacred, and when you start to notice them, something shifts inside. You realize that peace was never somewhere out there. It was always here, resting quietly in your chest. Maybe today, as you go about your day, try to carry that wish with you. May all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. Say it silently as you walk, as you work, as you wait in line, as you breathe. Let it guide your tone, your eyes, your touch. Let it remind you that every person you meet is just another traveler. Try to make sense of their own story. And if, at the end of the day, you find yourself tired again, come back here. We'll sit together in this quiet space and remember what matters. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more peace, more hearts like yours, learning to love gently, even when it's hard. So take a deep breath now. Feel your chest rise. Feel it fall. That's life. Fragile, simple, beautiful. You are still here. You are still growing. You are still becoming. And that is enough. There comes a time at the end of every story when words don't need to explain anything anymore, when silence itself becomes enough. And maybe that's where we are now, at the quiet edge of this journey together, where everything we've talked about, everything we've felt, begins to settle into something deeper than understanding. Something you can't really describe, only feel. You see, peace isn't something you chase or earn. It's what's left when you stop running. When you stop trying to be someone else, or somewhere else, or something more. It's what stays when you finally let yourself just be here, breathing, alive, whole, even with your flaws, your fears, your soft places. Maybe life isn't about becoming anything at all. Maybe it's about remembering who you already are beneath all the noise, kind, tender, aware, and quietly enough. So tonight, as you sit here listening, let the stillness fill the room around you. Notice the air, how it moves in and out without asking for permission. Notice your heartbeat, steady, patient, doing its best to keep you going. Notice that you're safe, even if the future is uncertain. That you're loved, even if not everyone says it out loud. That you belong here, even if the world sometimes makes you feel otherwise. We spend so much of life trying to fix what's broken, but sometimes healing isn't about fixing. It's about sitting with what is and letting it be seen gently. So, if your heart feels cracked, let it. Light gets in through cracks. If your soul feels tired, rest. You don't have to prove your worth by doing more. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply breathe through the ache and whisper to yourself, I'm still here, and you are still here, still learning how to love, still finding your way through the dark, still giving the world small pieces of your light, even when you don't realize it. That's what makes you beautiful. Not perfection, but presence. If these quiet talks have given you even a small sense of peace, if they've made your nights feel a little softer, I'd love for you to stay, to subscribe, so we can keep walking together. This space will always be here when you need to breathe again. When the world feels too heavy, come back. Sit in the quiet. Listen to your own heart. It always knows the way home. Before you go tonight, whisper this one more time, not as a ritual, but as a truth. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Let that echo inside you. Let it soften the hard parts. Let it remind you that peace isn't somewhere you visit. It's who you are when you stop pretending to be anything else. So close your eyes now. Let the noise fade. Let the breath guide you home. The night is gentle. The world is quiet. And for this moment, right here, right now, everything is okay. Good night, dear soul. You are loved. You are enough. You are peace. Crescent moon.